Yo, what's up guys? You got PKS Young Lattery here. I have quite a bit of catching up to do because I haven't put out a video for round 1 of playoffs. I think I did the wild card round, but we've gone all the way through round 1, all the way around through round 2, and now we're in like finals basically, which we're waiting for it to happen. But I'm gonna be going over like quite a few games today just because I'm playing some catch up here. This match is actually a run back between Adam and Steven. I remember this one. It's super fast. I actually helped him prep for this. And I remembered when they played beforehand, he led in a way that would open him up to potentially just being swept by Ogre Pawn. And that's that's pretty much just what happens in this game. He leads in a way that just can't stop this, because it's not like Sableye can wisp like a fire type, you know what I mean? I think in order to stop this, he would have had to have led like Hex and Toxic or something like that. But yeah, Ogre Pawn just goes absolutely fucking crazy right off rip and cleanly 6-0s. No offense to this guy, like Steven, like he had a really good season, but this is one of the most dominant playoff games I think I've ever seen. He just literally leads and wins with this. So yeah. Scald, yeah, you can't burn it though. I don't even think it has Toxic. Mellow when it comes in, yeah, it's not even gonna. Yeah. The other thing is you can't even Spiky Shield try to chip like stall or anything like that, because, well, A, this thing has Horn Leech which recovers, and B, Ivy Cudgel is not a contact move, it's a physical move, but it doesn't actually make contact with the opponent, so he couldn't have oh god, what's that move that Baneful Bunker? He couldn't have done that. He couldn't have Spiky Shield. He was just completely screwed by this. Next, this was Lucas versus Jared for playoffs round 1. The first thing that's like scary for Jared at preview is the fact that he's got literally nothing off the ground. They both have Mammo, but Lucas's Mammo is a little bit more frightening just because like there's no switch in for EQ whatsoever. That being said, I still do like Jared's team into this just because, I mean, he's got no ghost resist, so Specs Pulk goes crazy. Hoopa, which if it has T-Bolt, completely shreds his defensive core, and it's really easy to get momentum into it with Aloe because this piece of shit just like lives everything and flip turns out. So it's really easy to break down the defensive core, and then at that point, you know, if it's AV Aloe, Tapu Lele doesn't really do what it wants for free. Same thing with gouging, like you can just flip turn out. I helped Jared prep for this one, so I remember it pretty well. Like if you flip turn out on this, as it DDs, you go into value Encore Lock it, and then you start spamming Moonblast. He goes Corvi, Thunderbolt that, like, yeah. But I'll just start. The only scary thing really, it's not the Lele, it's not the gouge, it's literally just the Mammo. That's even like remotely scary from Lucas's point of view. He knocks the helmet and then knocks again as Lucas U-turns out. Didn't opt to Roost, which, you know, helps. Goes hard Arcanine expecting Moonblast. He gets Focus Blast instead as Arcanine doubles back into Mola. So then you know it's not choice locked. Most likely resist berry of some kind. Flips out into Hoopa to get the KO on Corviknight with the Thunderbolt. Okay. And now this is where, right, so This is where it's like annoying. Jared just opts to get the Intimidate off, which I don't blame him. It's not like he needs the Arcanine for anything. And now it makes the Mammo at least somewhat neutralized for the moment. That does a fuck ton of damage. Jared just Shadow Balls the Jolteon and kills it. Tapu Lele comes out. This turn is screaming, I have Ghost Resist Berry. Because if you're not Scarf, Lele will just die to Specs Shadow Ball. So Jared scouts for it, goes AV Mola to eat the Moonblast. And then Lucas Calm Minds up as Jared knocks, revealing it is indeed the Ghost Resist Berry. Moonblast still isn't enough to KO. He Mirror Coach to kill it. Goes Mammo to claim one. Wisely sacks Aloe because doesn't need it anymore. And now it's just a Mammo versus Mammo. Yeah. And now Valiant just kind of claims one here. Moonblast gets the drop, which wasn't like a game-changing drop, but it definitely sucks for Lucas because he would have done more damage. Maybe potentially putting it in Ice Shard range, I don't know. Moonblast. Yeah, I like the Moonblast play there, because if he tries to set up, like eat and set up, then you can Moonblast into Encore, because Val's still faster. Then Shadow Ball just wins from this point. Ice Shard isn't going to be enough to KO Dragapult, even though it is very close. And that's the end of Lucas's season on that game. Jared goes into round 2. Sorry I'm commentating like quickly, by the way. I just like have a lot of games to get through. And then this is Tails versus Zach. I don't remember what the hell happened. I know who wins. I don't remember how or why. But leads the turtle. Probably just going to throw off a... I don't know, if you're leading it, does that mean your rocks? Oh, no. Power Meteor Beam. Gets a +1. And where's he going to go to? Moltres expecting EP. He Dark Pulse expecting probably Ceruledge to want to come out on the normal type move. Wow. This thing is tanky. It's such an annoying Pokemon. Okay, and then what? He Bitter Blades to get a little bit of health back, but he doesn't get the speed boost. So it's not like going to be too difficult to revenge, especially because he's got Disguise still and Priority and all that. Gyarados doubles into Zera here on the DD. Oh. Mirror Herb. So I remember talking to Richard briefly about this game after it happened. I think staying in here was bad. He obviously is going to click an electric move. He could have actually clicked a fight move, I guess, to cover for the Mammo. But the thing is that I don't think a +1 CC kills Gara. It could. I don't think it does. And then a +1 Waterfall or Earthquake. Or Earthquake definitely kills this. So I don't think he was going to go for CC. I think he kind of had to go for the electric move, which he does. But this Mammo is Sash, so you could have taken advantage of this Plasma Fist turn, went Mammo, and then, you know, knocked down to 1, and then revenged, put you in a much better position, I think, than just kind of letting the Zera do what it wanted to. It did have CC. I kind of want to calc that to see if it killed Gara. I feel like it probably didn't, because Gara's really tanky. And it's not stab. But yeah, Jaden takes that one. I feel like Jaden probably would have been fine anyway, but I don't know. I feel like going Mammo there could have potentially made it a different game. Alright, now we have David versus Zeb. This game, there was some salt associated with this game, I remember, because there was some like hacks involved on both sides. but that's the game we play. I kind of want to put this one on like fast because I know it lasts a while, like these two. Okay, so he leads Fez and Dippity. Hang on, I can't go that fast. Hold on. Let me rewind a little bit. Okay, so he leads Zygarde, he leads Fez, and he just hard switches. Oh no, he U-turns into Superior on the ground move, and then we go with like a Volt on the Substitute. If this has Bug Buzz, it will go through that Substitute, and Zeb, knowing that, switches out into Gouge, which was smart. Goes Arc on the Gouging Fire, also smart, but holy crap, that still did a lot of damage. I think that might be banded. I don't remember what their sets were for this game. But Stone Edge doing that much is crazy. He's going to be forced out again, probably into Gouge, yep. And he clicks Outrage, expecting the Dozo this time. Dozo gets a little bit of health back with a berry as he goes hard. Tapu Lele to be immune to the Outrage, and then he clicks what on the Corviknight Psychic. Okay. Goes Arc on this. So now the Arcanine will be able to Morning Sun up if he has it. He does have it. He Outrages again, not giving a shit about the Lele, which I get it. He's just trying to make progress. That crit was pretty big. Well, not really. Actually, he's still just able to roost it off pretty cleanly. But he goes Zera on the Volt Switch to absorb it. Hard Arcanine. They're both just kind of like fighting for position, like the majority of this game. Okay, so he had the Rock Resist Berry. He goes hard. Lele. So this Lele's Scarf then? Because you would never go hard like on Lando like that. Also, wait a second. Why'd he switch? Maybe he thought this had HP Ice or something, like Scarf HP Ice. Because there's no way Scarf Psy kills that. He should, yeah, I think he was probably just scouting that. Yeah, they're both just kind of jockeying for position, trying not to give up too much value. The Life Orb on the Zera, though, it's not like he's going to be able to heal that up. He doesn't have like a Wish Passer, so that is something to take note of. He ends up sacking his Dozo to get a free switch into Nihilego, which is Hidden Power something. I don't know what Hidden Power it was. But yeah, he goes Zai on the Zera to block the Volt Switch, and then reveals that he is Scarf Zygarde. I don't know what the fuck. Maybe this thing had HP Ice. And that's why he opted to stay in. Okay. He has to go Serp hard on this turn. Yeah, because that would have been a super effective hit had he stayed in after the Smackdown. Misses a Gunk. Goes into Zai. And continues to spam ground move. This Superior is really helping him, yeah, not just get run over by that, because Fez and Gouge can't really take that. Corvi can't really take it once, like it's, because if you switch in, it becomes a raw steel type. Lando doesn't want to take like offensive hits like that, so that Serp is like saving him from not getting run over by Scarf Zygarde. In terms of like what's threatening David from an offensive standpoint, I guess it would just be if Zeb can manage to get Landorus in on free turns. Outside of that, it's kind of tough. Okay, and now they're just gonna exchange recovery turns, I guess. He outrages again and lets it go down to the Scorching Sands. Misses a rock slide and gets put on a timer, which sucks. Reads the switch with a psychic. Actually, wait, why did he even, I don't know, whatever. Finally predicts the Corviknight coming in. Hard switches, expecting either Lando or Fez to come in. But Lando misses another rock slide. Yeah. So there was some salt over that in the chat, and looking back at it, Zeb did kind of get robbed. I busted his balls because he likes to click that yellow color a lot, and I was like kind of telling him, you know, you can't really bitch about hacks when you play to hack so often, but that doesn't change the fact that he definitely did get really unlucky in this game. But yeah, at this point, it's just kind of a matter of yeah, the Lele coming in and clicking its move, and then, you know, Zai, yeah. Oh, well, Lele lived anyways. But yeah, Zeb, that is a shitty way to go out, but still, David did play well. It was a close game regardless. On to the next one. This is Dylan versus the other Steven, PFL Swift. This guy runs another draft league. He's actually running one right now. I think he's incorporating like the new megas and all that. I don't know exactly what the format's called, because I'm sure it's probably like Champions OU draft or some shit like that. It's like some new shit. But yeah, matchup wise, I don't remember watching this one, but I remember who wins, but I don't remember exactly what goes down. I think in terms of offensive threats, he needs to be careful of Blaziken, and yeah, Blaziken and Bax are both terrifying. These two are annoying to break. I've had both of these two before, and Sylveon. This is actually a really good team. I don't really like the Decidueye. I'm not saying it's a bad Pokemon, but I'm just not personally a fan of it. But this is a well-balanced team. Dylan has a well-balanced team as well. Let's just dive into this one and see how it goes. Leads with Tink to get rocks up, which is good, because if this is like Focus Sash Blaziken, you want to break that, obviously. Same thing for Bax. If it's like not boots, it's taking a clean 25 every time it comes in. That's a big deal. So I understand wanting rocks up in this match. What did Meowscar autoclick? Trick? Yeah. Goes Tink on the fairy move. Probably just resets up rocks. Yep. Goes Great Tusk on the Blaziken, which is smart. He gets scared out. I'm a little bit surprised by that. Maybe it's because I don't know why he did that. I think he could have just CC'd, and then maybe it's because it's not Sash. Yeah, it might not be Sash. This set is demonic, by the way. I love running Bulk Up Tusk on the ladder. It's so good. It might just win, actually. I don't remember. Yeah. Does it win? It might. Oh, maybe it didn't knock out. So I feel like it had to have, though. Unless he just doesn't have Headlong Rush. Maybe it's like Dark Move, Fight Move, Rapid Spin or something? I don't know. I was surprised when both of the fighting types switched out in this game, but I also don't know the full sets or the spreads or anything. Calm Mind's up with Zam, and Psyshock's doing an insane amount of damage to Patrick. Is this the end of the game? Probably. Okay, it is Boots Backs. If that wasn't Boots Backs, I feel like Zam just cleaned. Probably cleaned anyway, dude. Maybe he needed to save it for the Blaziken or something. I don't know. CC. Okay, yeah. So maybe it just didn't have headlong, and that's why it switched on the Sylveon. But either way, you just stay in at this point. You just CC, and yeah. Yeah, because he had Intimidate in the back too. Even if it DDs, it's got like no health. You get to go into the fish and then just attack. So that was pretty cleanly played by Dylan. Oh, this one's my game. I forget a lot of the... What did I do? What was my thinking here? I think it was like SD Valiant goes crazy once the... Okay, yeah. Like if it's... First of all, if it's offensive Steela, +2 CC just kills always. If it's bulky Steela, it needed like 20-something%, I think, for +2 CC to kill. It's booster speed, so it's always faster than Scarfrachi. It had Ice Punch for this asshole. It had like Knock. It had yes. +2 CC kills this even in snow, which is crazy. That neutral hit. It's a neutral hit. It knocks out max HP, max speed Ninetales in snow, which I thought was a little bit crazy. Obviously, this thing dies. So it's just kind of that was like my main setup and go kind of thing. Scizor was incredibly good into him on paper because he had 2 ice types. He had this and he had Kyurem. And he had Sneasler too, so like having a Gliscor is automatically just great into a Sneasler, but then also having a means of hitting it strong with a priority move in case it gets that Unburden boost off and becomes faster than like everybody. I had Polt too on my team. I benched it this week because I felt like he had a lot of decent options into it. Like he had like a normal type. I think he had like a really good dark type. I forget, but a good fairy type. And during prep, I was noticing like my Polt wasn't very good into him really. Like it was okay, but it wasn't really that great. And the main things I was afraid of were like offensive variants of the Celesteela and like weird Jirachi offensive variants, like maybe like a weakness policy with like 3 physical attacks or something, or like a choice scarf or whatever. I wasn't really scared of Polt too much, or Sneasler. I teched on Brick Break on a few of these guys. I don't remember which ones, but just as a means of dealing with screens. And yeah, that's all I really remember about that. So I think I just led Muck to try to... I think I had Brick Break in case you had Ninetales. I stayed in here because I felt like if I go Gliscor on a Knock, I'm going to feel stupid. And I don't think you EQ when I have a Rotom and a Gliscor, you know what I mean? So I kind of made like a risky-ish play turn 1. But not really, because like I guaranteed got value. Even if he EQ'd me, I live and I get rid of a Violet, which I would have been okay with. He knocks lefties. I pump into Tails and does like almost half. Go back to Muck on the... oh, I got a little bit lucky here. I forgot about that. I got a little lucky. I got the Hypnosis dodge, and I was easily able to Brick Break. I think I stay into Burn a turn, expecting him to try to Veil again, but no, he doesn't try to Veil again. Instead, he tries to get Switch Initiative with Celesteela. The reason I went this was because I was Trick, and I was trying to give this thing a lagging tail to make it easier to deal with. My means of dealing with like a defensive variant was to just pivot between this guy and Rotom over and over again. I made Rotom always faster. And yeah. He did have EQ, yeah. So at this point I vault out and I go back into Slowking G as he subs again. I think I just hard switch again probably into Rotom as he Leech Seeds. And then where do I go from? Yeah, I remember wanting to get the Toxic Orb activated because What? There was some reason I wanted that active. I forget what it was. But yeah, going to Rotom on this thing as he spikes up, and I think I just pump, knock it down into Stealth Rock range. He puts me on a timer, and then I pump again as he goes into Pult. So this turn was an interesting one. He subs as I switch, and the next turn, this is the turn where I realized the game was absolutely over. Well, not quite, but this is where I started to feel like it was turning 100% into my favor. I think the reason he switched, even though he had a sub up, was most likely because he was anticipating me to click Encore. Because the way I played that very much looked like I had it. I don't. But yeah, people were like, why'd you switch? Why'd you switch? I think that's why. He sacks the Ninetales, and then he goes into Steela. I just decide, you know what? I'm going to get knocked off in case, because I don't want to deal with leftovers for like a long drawn out thing with this. I don't want it getting any recovery. And I was kind of okay with letting this thing die because Scizor just kind of cleans. You know what I mean? Like after I continually whittle him down, Bullet Punch, I was going for like a Bullet Punch endgame. But once I realized this thing doesn't have Air Slash, I'm like, oh, okay, the game's just over. Because he can't kill me if I SD, and nothing is going to outspeed me. I don't even know if Pulse Sucker Punch kills this at -122. I doubt it. So yeah, it ends up being a 6-0 in round 1 of playoffs. Yeah, and then Jirachi comes in, dies to knock or CC or whatever. Yeah, GG. Good shit to Kenny. And then the next one was JoJo versus CJ. The roommates. The roommates clash. I don't remember exactly what happens. I do remember the winner, obviously, but let's see. He leads Hat on Meow and clicks. Okay, he clicks U-turn out. Is he just gonna nuzzle? What's he going for here? Mystical Fire. Okay. Maybe he was trying to catch the treads. I like the knock from JoJo because if this is water absorb, you can't really flip turn. So definitely didn't want to waste the turn just getting blocked by Jellyfish. CJ makes a decent read and goes into a normal type on the Ghost move. Ghost treads as CJ tidies up. Bullet Seed's probably gonna do like what, half, and then he vaults out into Zamazenta, and the +1 defense boost definitely helps. Still does a lot of damage though. So Little Mouse put in a decent amount of work there. He went Hat. I guess maybe he just thought he didn't have a Steel type move. Yeah, I don't know. Safer would have been this right away, or I think just this right away was the safest play. This was a reasonable play, but Crunch is an option. Mudsdale. Yeah, Mudsdale was definitely the move. I don't know if he needed the Hat necessarily though for anything specific. It's already at like half, but he could have used it for a sack or something. He's not water absorbed. Gets burned as the fish gets disabled, and he says, I think that turn was a misclick. Yeah, recover was a misclick. He wanted to Toxic. Toxic would have been really good to put this on the timer, but even if that did happen, wow, explodes on Mola. So at this point he's going all in on Reveroom, and the Scald immediately burns, which sucks. CJ claims he had a way to win from that position. I mean, I believe it. This thing is squishy, right? It's at 74 and it's squishy. This thing's at like half. I think you needed a little bit more to Tuco Mole, maybe. This thing is squishy. Moltres is pretty bulky. I don't know. I think it would have been a tall order even without the burn because of this Moltres, unless he has some kind of like coverage for it. Yeah, he just needed 2 without getting burned. I think if he just got 2 without getting burned, he probably won the game, actually. So that was legit. Yeah, he's saying he had a root. I believe it. It's unfortunate, though. It's not like an ideal position to set up, but what can you have done? Because it's not easy to set that. Hold on, let me just see here. So he explodes. Yeah, he doesn't have a lot to scare out the thing. I mean, he could have went back into here and Toxics first and tried to maybe set up on the I don't even know. Maybe the ghost thing? I don't know if you eat 2 Shadow Balls though. So, I don't know. It was just tough. It was tough. I think maybe he just really did have to not get burned on the mole then. But yeah, that's how CJ goes down. JoJo continues. I think I'm gonna keep recording because there are other playoff games that happened. This was quarterfinals. I threw the shit out of this game. Spoiler alert. Yeah, but we'll get to that. Okay. Alright, so... Oh, this one was fucking close as shit. I remember this game. This is Jared versus Dylan. So... Yeah, I'm not going to do a team analysis for every single game at this point, because we're already like 30 minutes in. So I'm just going to let this rock and commentate like what I see as I see it. He leads Pult on Rotom and goes into Hoopa and gets Thunder Waved. Good play on Dylan's part, because even if you go Mambo to absorb it, this thing is like 6 points faster naturally on a base speed level, so you can just Hydro Pump the turn after, even if he does. So fair. I mean, Specs Draco was a little bit scary for Rotom, I guess. But yeah, maybe he didn't think Jared would do that because of Tink. Multiple paras here hurts Jared a lot. Mostly because putting this Tinkaton in range of Valiant is important, because if you look at Dylan's team, Valiant, it's super effective here, gets coverage here, CC's neutral, all bottom 3 if it's physical. So like, yeah, the Hoopa, and he was able to get rocks up too. Conversely, missing a player off on a Scizor is relatively inconsequential, just because it doesn't do much damage anyways. Smart to switch out on the Temper Flare. Not so smart to allow this to get knocked. And the reason for that is now Zam is a mega fucking threat. But again, I don't really know where he could have went, unless he was going to go Hard Val early to scout the knock. It's not like, you know, it's not like anything else wants to get knocked or take a knock. So, tough. Goes Val and SDs. This CC, I think, was a roll that Jared didn't get. And then even worse, if that poison doesn't happen, this dies. And then Dylan probably would have been forced to go into like Scarf Meow. Uh-oh. But yeah. Revealing Freeze Dry. there is probably not the best. Like, it's clearly like a Rotom tech. I think he was trying to read the Rotom switch in, but at that point, I don't know if he would have saved Quill, because it's basically dead already. But I get it. Trying to play aggressive. Draco's the Meow, and then double Draco's the Meow, because he reveals this is Scarf Bolt, because I know this is Scarf Meow. Let's see. Goes into Hoopa. Dazzling Gleam does a fuck ton. Definitely just gonna sack off the Hoopa here, as he goes back into Polt to attempt to get U-turn chip, but he goes Rotom instead. He went Scizor on Rotom, trying to just U-turn on it. Maybe he didn't believe it was Wisp because it was Thunder Wave. Jared clicks Scarf Shadow Ball, which makes a lot of sense, because if he goes Tink, he 2-Kos, which is what happens. This, you might be thinking, why would he go? He knows it's Scarf. Why would he want to take the Shadow Ball? It lives Shadow Ball unless it's a crit. And Jared is playing to an end game of this thing cleaning up. So he is actually forced to switch here. This is why getting knocked sucks, because Psychic is able to... Oh, he switches. Maybe it happens later, but... Yeah. He BP's into Tusk. I think it was already in Shadow Ball range anyway, but that just obviously secures Shadow Ball range. And now, again, he's forced to sack Mola. This is where it matters. If it was AV, he would have been able to live and either flip out or Mirror Coat or whatever. This turn, this was a very talked about turn. No matter which way you slice it, Jared definitely should have clicked Freeze Dry, right? Because even if this Rotom lived the Freeze Dry, you have better odds of maybe the Ice Shard killing after. And I get why he made the safe play, because he's thinking, if you chip the Zam, then Dragapult wins, right? But at this point in a game like this close, it's either you win dangerously or you die safely, and unfortunately Jared dies safely, because he is unable to... Yeah, he needs, at this point, he would need like T-Wave to miss, and he would need to crit Zam like hard to win, which is a lot to ask for. So he had to play off, Dylan's choke basically. But either way, very close game. Felt like a really good playoff game. A lot of these games felt like they could have been grand finals. It's a lot of good players. This is Adam versus Chris. I helped Adam prep for this matchup as well. It's basically just him running a lot of fat shit to not get run over by Chris's offensive threats. Little techs here and there to surprise KO things, and the fact that Chris doesn't have a ground type was really helpful, because it's just forever Volt Switch momentum. We prepped for Scarf Mineshaw, and this turns out it's exactly Scarf Mineshaw. That's why we have the Rocky Helmet for the Axel, plus the Sand Chip does a fuck ton. Sippo slacks off to be a continuous switch into the Mineshaw, misses a Toxic, which sucks. And then this fucking play made this game so much harder for Adam, because Landorus is a mega threat into his team. Not only does he not have a ground type, he doesn't have anything off the ground. He doesn't have, EP is so free. And his grass type is half a poison type, so, the Illumise is his best switching. And then it got burned, so now burn plus rocks. It's just like really, really tough. At this point, it's basically made it so that this game has to be long and drawn out. I'm actually going to play it hyper fast because of that. I think Chris, he gets all the momentum in the world with the toxic. Like, Adam's whole team is crippled. He goes in thinking he'd live a seismic toss. He doesn't. He flames on the bug as he goes into... Man, I have to slow this down a little bit. I'm sorry. Yeah. He goes Hippo on Torkoal, trying to get rocks back up or just hit the Torkoal. Okay. He goes hard Ogerpon as this thing roosts. Predicts the switch and Stomping Tantrums, which is a 3-co. I totally get that. I get cudgeling there. Because if he were to like randomly go Venu on some tryhard shit to avoid getting 3-co'd, you know, and then threaten a Sludge Bomb back, it was a good play. It didn't look like it, but it was a good play because the next hit killed on Torkoal anyway. Goes into Blue Waffle on the Dragon move, and then reveals he is Steel Resist Berry on the Iron Head to kill the Roaring Moon. Just sacks off, doesn't bother going Hippo, just sacks off. Gets Manectric in and clicks Volt Switch. If he had clicked Flamethrower there, damn, that would have been crazy. But I get it, you're on a timer, you don't want to make a wrong read, and now you're just fucking losing health for nothing. You want that momentum. Gets rocks up as Vaporeon Heal Bells, and yeah, this is just kind of like, I don't know, at this point he's kind of playing for a mix of hacks, or he's playing for a PP stall, or he's playing, I don't know. It's just kind of like a war of attrition type of game at this point, because neither one of them has like major threats. I like Toxicking on this turn, obviously putting this on the timer, even though the Vaporeon does have Heal Bell, it just helps. Hard switching was also a really good play because you don't want to get Encore locked. And then Iron Head, yeah. Iron Heading here. He commits to staying in on the CC to kill this, which I think was a good play because this has leftovers anyway. And doing that chunk of damage plus the para really sets up Adam for success in the end here, because now it's just kind of like Manectric cleaning. Yeah, Manectric just cleans at this point. Well, yeah, it chunks. Yeah, it's actually the Ogerpon that cleans. So he just sacks Hippo. I like going Hippo because the sand makes the synthesis not heal as much. So, okay, he sacks Illumise. And then it's just Flamethrower as he synthesizes. Doesn't get as much back. Ogerpon has Mold Breaker, and the Ivy Cudgel hits through the thick fat to kill Venusaur. Another super close game. A lot of these games, I'm telling you, they felt like really close. I didn't get to see this one live. David, I remember David, he had like some kind of skiing trip, which, because I was trying to help him prep for this, we weren't able to get that much prep time in, so I don't know. Like, I remember who wins, but I don't remember how it goes because I didn't watch it. Okay. Mola on the Sludge Wave. Flips. He probably flips out, right? On the Lele? Yeah. All I remember from prepping with this was that David wanted to run Scarf Lele originally, which makes sense because of Zama and, you know, Raging Bolt and Meow and all that stuff. But in reality, harder to pull off without playing super aggressively into Mola. Like, you have to kind of double into Choice Band or Shifu on that. Otherwise, the AV just kind of cucks it. Okay, he U-turns. Okay. I don't even think that is AV, though. Which is weird. I really expected AV. Goes Vika Volt. And then what? Raging Bolt or Hat? Yeah, Hat. He could have went Bolt and tried to drop a Drake, too. But Hat is good for stopping webs. Oh, he Iron Tails. Thinking the Hat's gonna stay in. Hold on. Volt switches. Damn hard into Zygarde too. Really aggressive play. Not caring what fairy move. Setting off an alarm in his head. You know, signaling like, why would you do that? Unless you had coverage. So smart for Jojo to switch. Goes Dozo on the flip turn. And Leaf Storm. I'm not sure why David would stay in there. Even if this wasn't Leaf Storm, Meow. You know, Flower Trick would have hurt. And keeping Dozo healthy for Zama, I would think would be a priority here. I think a little bit of lapse in judgment. But like, we've all been there. I get it. Big crit. And he Volt switches out. Oh, crit and return. Into Nihilego. And then Draining Kiss. Okay. And then he doubles into Lele expecting Aloe. I think if you're going to pull a double there, you go Shifu. And then if you're going to be really crazy, you Zen Headbutt into this. But no, actually, he just psychics. The psychic not this. Oh, maybe this is psychic versus berry or something. I feel like Scarf Psychic has odds to kill in terrain. But yeah, at this point, does have Ice Fang? Oh, Reflect. Okay. And yeah, that just doesn't do shit with the Reflect plus the defense boost. That's a tough game, bro. Yeah, I think that's... I don't really see how he could possibly win from this position. You can't Moonblast spam because of Moltres. You can't Psychic spam because of Meow. So, yeah. Very, very strong performance by JoJo. He's been killing it all season. Good for him. And then there's me. I don't even want to show this shit because, like, I honestly... when I was playing this game, I wasn't thinking any turns through. I was playing very much on autopilot, fast clicking. And I beat myself up over it the next day because I knew that I just wanted this season to be over. I'm so tired of prepping because of things that are going on in real life. Not to discredit Jaden, he's an amazing player, but like I totally didn't try as hard as I should have to win this. And I feel bad about that. I feel like I should have given him a better game than I did. But let's get into it. I lead with Rotom. I Wisp. I'm actually Scarf Rotom. Reason being is Zera. I wanted to surprise it. I'm 1 point faster than Zera. I'm 424. That's the thing too. I did good prep. I just played like shit. I flip turn out. And he goes into Terapagos, which is screaming Ice Beam. I activate my orb and hard switch in Glow-King. As he does Ice Beam. I Toxic the Chomp. And then I think I stay in because I'm Shuka. I just beam. Yeah. Mimikyu comes in as I go Rotom. This turn, he drops his Z. Instead of me defogging, which is what I do, I think I should have just wisped this thing and played with the hazards up. And then I make because I'm playing fast, I just go hard Pult, which is dumb because this has a +1 speed. So misplay. He thinks I'm Scarf though. I double out into Scizor. I don't scout HP Fire, even though I'm like very much aware this could be HP Fire. And this is what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like these are just bad plays on my part because like I didn't care. And then I go Glow King, and he goes M on Future Sight. I don't even think this game is winnable at this point too. I remember having that thought, like I think the only way I could have won is if I wisped that stupid Mimikyu and not sacked my Scizor for no reason, because Scizor was actually low-key goated. Bullet punching this, you know, like on a revenge type of thing after Disguise is broken, big deal. This was another shit play. Instead of roosting, I should have just dual wing beat. But yeah, just really bad plays, really fast plays on my part. And I go Pult. I have to Shadow Ball because if I Drake, I mean it's tough, right? Because if I he's got a Ghost and a normal. He goes Terapagos on Moonblast. Actually, no, I Moonblast. Like, he gets to attack me. This thing dies to the normal move. Yeah. And then I think I'd probably just go Toxic. Oh no, I Future Sight. And then I Chili. Oh no, I Toxic again. Okay. I go Pult on the normal move, but he clicks Ice Beam. At this point, he just wins with, like, the Mimikyu. So, he lets this go down to Toxic. And then he goes Mimikyu. Yeah, definitely should have wisped it. Definitely should have scouted HP Fire. Not my best performance. But I've just been so fucking over this. I didn't even want to do this season. Like James hit me up and was like, it's time for season 2. I was like, all right, cool, like let's do it. But either way, good shit to Jaden. GG's. I think we're caught up now, but I could be wrong. Let me see. Yeah, I think we're caught up now. Okay, we're just waiting on JoJo versus Adam and Jaden versus Dylan, but these are your top 4. Adam, only hope for PKS, which is crazy because last season PKS was top 3. So yeah, rough season, but very good games all around, very close games. Level of competition is increased overall, I feel like, just because of, like, you know, the pot bonuses and stuff, or the pot in general just being high. I don't know of any other draft that does this. If you guys do, feel free to let me know in the comments, because I've been in a handful of draft leagues, and I've never been in one that was like, you play for money, let alone this high of stakes. So I think what we're doing is relatively unprecedented and also going under the radar when it shouldn't be. I think Season 3 should be insanely blown up. Whether I play in it or not, I'll still admin and do the content, but I think this should be like blown up, and I'm gonna try to get Joey involved in Season 3 and maybe like shorter season, like an 8-week thing or something. But I'm rambling at this point. Thank you for tuning in. If you watched this whole thing, you're a real one, because we're fucking 55 minutes in. Good shit to all the players. Have a good one.